All right, first I have to pull back the curtain a bit, America. So here's the deal. I'm doing this show today with no nicotine patch. You might have been able to tell from my kind of disposition in the first segment. I was a little more pugnacious than usual. So my wonderful colleagues were like, Nick, how can we put you in a better mood? And I'm like, I don't know. Can I do a player pyramid? They're like, yeah, if you can make one in the next 10 minutes. So here we go. Let's go. Quick one. 21 players, 6-tier pyramid, bottom row. Show you the depth of these great playoff teams. Right? I mean, look at who's on this bottom row. Can we show it, please? Can we show it? I'm going to be very upset. Sorry, I know I got it to you late. Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jaylen Brown, a lot of J's, James Harden, and a couple Phoenix Suns, including a guy who maybe should have won Defensive Player of the Year, Mikal Bridges. But there's your 6th row. James Harden, more on him in a moment. 5th row, let's debut it. These are players 11 through 15 left in the playoffs. A couple Warriors. The most important defensive player, and up to this point in the postseason, their most important offensive player, plus Tyrese Maxey, Bam, and Chris Middleton. Middleton's the probably hardest guy to rank because he's injured, but we know how valuable he is. Now, the best 10 guys left in the postseason. 4th row, show it to us, please, if we could. Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, Drew Holiday. 3 of these guys, the first 3, can win multiple playoff games almost on their own. Drew Holiday is the best defensive guard in basketball with respect to Marcus Smart. I think they are a clear-cut top 10 guys left in the playoffs. Now it gets tricky because we know who's going to be at the top, so who's left? Steph, Joel, and Ja. Any of these guys could be Finals MVP. Any of these guys, I think, would be the favorite to be Finals MVP if their team makes the Finals. Now, I don't think any of these teams are going to make the Finals, but if they did, they'd be the favorite to be Finals MVP. So who's ahead of them? Oh, you know who's ahead of them. Luka Dončić and Chris Paul. The 2 best point guards in basketball. Why is Luka on there? Well, he is now, the all-time leader in playoff points per game, the all-time leader in combined playoff points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, and Chris Paul. How about this for a number for you? 51-0. That's Phoenix this year when leading after 3 quarters. That's the Chris Paul effect. The only team to ever be better was point guarded essentially by the ultimate court general, LeBron James. They were 57-0, the 2020 Lakers. Chris Paul has a chance to break that record, and then we all know who the number 1 player is. He's wearing the crown. He's going to be wearing the crown for the next 5 to 7 years, unless my large adults will meet me and sign something to say about it. Giannis, it goes without saying at this point, we know he's the best player in basketball. No one that should be taken seriously disputes he's the best player in basketball. So there it is, player pyramid of the guys remaining in the postseason, Brew.
Well, you did get the number 1 spot right, but after that, I'm moving your large adult Slovenian son down. Joel Embiid has to replace Luka Dončić, and I love Luka, but no, not yet. He's a little too high. I could argue Steph over CP3, but I'll let you have that one. But look, the Mavericks, you know this, Nick. They were 2-1 against Utah, and I'm going on playoff stuff. They were 2-1 in the playoffs without Luka. They're 2-2 with him. So I'm just saying they played fine without him. I get it. It was an inferior opponent, Utah. But when you look at Embiid, Philadelphia has no shot to win without Joel Embiid.
They were up at halftime.
He gets it done on the defensive. He gets it done on. Okay. They lost the game handily. But anyway, Joel Embiid also does it on the defensive end, whereas Luka doesn't. The second point that really stuck in my craw is you got to have Jason Tatum ahead of Ja Morant. Jason Tatum just outplayed a guy that some think is the best player in the world, not me or you, but Kevin Durant. Outplayed him on both sides of the ball in the first round, is averaging 28 points in the playoffs, and Ja has been great at times, but up and down. Ja has had 3 of his 7 playoff games, he shot 30% or less. So I would switch Tatum and Ja, and then, of course, Embiid and Luka.
Okay, the Tatum and Ja thing is incredibly close, and there might have been a little recency bias in that even though they both lost game 1s, Ja was very good and Tatum had his roughest game of the postseason. And so I'm not gonna, I obviously feel like Ja deserves to be a touch ahead of Tatum, but it is so close I'm not gonna go to war with you about that. I don't understand the justification though for having Embiid ahead of Luka. Like the only possible knock on Luka is, well, I mean, can the guy get past round 2? Joel Embiid, same thing. We've never seen Joel Embiid get past round 2 either. So, to me, Luka is just obviously and clearly a better player than Embiid. His playoff numbers far outshine Embiid, not only for career, but for this year. And so, that one I do disagree with you on, even though you are 100% right. Obviously, Embiid's defense is a huge part of his value, and you saw it yesterday. And rebounding, by the way. You saw yesterday with Philly how much they missed Joel Embiid's rebounding, with DeAndre Jordan just choosing not to jump for rebounds because he can't be bothered to. So I understand that it's not a knock on Embiid. I just think Luka's better. Go ahead, Wiles.
Well, you're familiar with the proprietary stat, KBET, Kevin's basketball eye test. And when you look at crunch the numbers with KBET, Kevin's basketball eye test, it's similar to your proprietary stat, but just a little bit tweaked. The algorithm is a little bit different. It's like when you're like Google versus like Excite. It's just a little bit different. Yours would be Excite, mine would be Google. In any event, I want to talk about my guy Klay Thompson, because when you look at KBET, Klay Thompson's doing few things that aren't showing up on the stat sheet. He only had 15 points in that Memphis game, but he had a great defensive stop, kind of got Ja off of his spot. So I'm saying that this should be taken into account for NBET as it is for KBET, basketball eye test. Knowing this, Nick, and this is why I think it's important, we talk about Klay's leadership and maturity a lot. Think about Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards hit that big shot, and then out of that timeout, he's like, I'm going to get the steal. He obviously went for the steal, it's a bad play, Ja wins the game. In this game, the exact opposite happened. Klay Thompson missed those free throws, put it in the pass, and said, I just got to make a good play, defensive stop here. And he got it done. So this is the type of stuff that KBET really rewards. Basketball eye test, making smart plays, not letting, your missed free throws affect the defensive end. So I just want to put Klay Thompson deserves some sort of spot on your pyramid.
Listen. Klay has the highest approval rating of any player in the league. I love him and I root for him. And he did hit, before he missed those free throws, and Brew, I want to throw this to you, because before he missed those free throws, he did obviously hit that killer 3 to put him up 1, and I do think he's as clutch as just about anybody left in the league. But I feel like the Grizzlies are targeting him on defense. I feel like you can say he had a good stop of Ja. I don't know that I totally agree with that. But, my eye test says Klay went from being a devastating perimeter defender to a guy that, to me, in game 1, looked like he was a step slow repeatedly. Brew, you can break the tie here, I guess. I think Klay's body has betrayed him to a level where they can't rely on him defensively, which is why he didn't make the pyramid.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's not what he was defensively. I mean, people talked about the shooting. He's kind of, found his shooting touch, and he did late in the season. But defensively, he is not close to what he used to be. And you're going to see that more, Nick, against a team like Memphis that's so young and athletic and energetic. And that's where it's really going to stand out. So, yeah, he definitely is not the same on that side of the ball.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.